Hello and welcome! My name is Wizzy, so you can also call me Wizzy, and today I am going to be doing a GTA 5 Cayo Perico Heist walkthrough. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing an entire walkthrough for this heist, starting from the gathering intel, to the setups, to the heist itself. Now, as of me recording this, GTA was just updated, so it's guaranteed on your first heist setup, or gather intel rather, that you'll get the Gold Panther statue. So I figured this is a perfect time for me to do this walkthrough. Not only that, but I've been wanting to do this for a while anyways, and like I said, with a Gold Panther statue, I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to do this walkthrough. So yeah, I'm also doing this for a friend so I can show him kind of how I do my setups and everything. Kind of just helping him out with that. But yeah. Anyways, this is the way I do this is no means telling you exactly this is the only way to do this. Of course, there are multiple different ways to do this heist. This is just my preferred way and what I feel is the best way to do this heist setup. But like I said, you can do this however you want to do this, but just the way I'm going to be doing this in the video is how I do it. But anyways, with that being said, it is about time that we head over to the screen here. And you will need a Kosatka, of course, in order to do this heist. And if you haven't done the heist yet, you will have to do it once before you are able to get the Gold Panther statue. But once you've done it before and everything like that, then you're all set. And I have just done this heist prior without the Gold Panther statue because I already had this setup done prior. So this will be on the hard difficulty, but we should still be getting the Gold Panther statue. But anyways, of course it costs 2,500 or 25,000 rather to set up, which is fine. And as you can see down the lower right corner of the screen here, it says hard mode active. So of course, first things first is you're going to want to gather intel. I've already done this several times, so I already have all the infiltration points, escape points, compound entry points, a couple of the points of interest, but we're not going to be focusing on that this time. I'm sure there's other videos of people doing it, showing you where all these infiltration points are and everything like that. Like I said, I'm not going to be focusing on that. I'm just going to be gathering the intel for the main target and certain secondary targets, and that's it. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and gather intel. And it's going to tell us to go to Pleato Cove. And one thing I always do when I do this is I always fast travel with a Kosatka because I feel a whole lot easier. So I'm going to fast travel to, it says Pleato Cove. So Pleato Forest, it looks like, would be the closest one here. So we're going to fast travel to there, which is $2,000. I think initially it's about $10,000, and I can't remember if it's once you complete the heist the first time. After that, it goes down to 2,000 after that. But I have it set so or I have it at 2,000 each time, of course. So one vehicle I'm going to be using a lot, as you'll notice, is my Sparrow that I have from my Kosatka here. And of course, once again, you can use any vehicle you want, but this is just my preferred method or mode of transportation. Now, it will have you go to one of 3 or 4 different locations to get this plane, basically, is what you're going to be getting.
Again! You know, in Russia we have say, heaven is place where you can drink same glass of vodka. Twice, huh? How many times is it now, Capitan? I have lost count. We use our usual reconnaissance approach. Smuggler plane. I have one already located.
Now, one thing I will mention is I usually try not to lock on to the plane. I mean, it can take a couple of hits, but still, I just prefer not to target the plane at all. And then usually I'll land after I take up the car or whatever, and then just shoot the rest of the guys. Now, also, my preferred weapon of choice is actually pistol, and that is the heavy pistol. Although sometimes I will occasionally use the sniper rifle with the advanced scope and suppressor, but which I may use here just to knock these guys out. Let me get into a better location. So that guy's gone. Who else do we have left over here? I think there's a couple guys on the other side of the plane here. There's one guy here. Okay, he's gone. I'm gonna switch to my heavy pistol now. I missed him. I usually try to go for headshots. Yeah, the briefcase isn't gonna protect you there, buddy. Okay, where do you go? He's on the other side of the plane here. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this game here, buddy. Okay. Now, one thing I have noticed on this setup here, or for the Gather Intel mission here, is usually if the door is open and you get into it, the door will stay open. If it's closed, your character will close it, like he just did. But that's one thing I have noticed, is if the door is open, it will stay open.
Keep south until the air becomes thick with herbs and profanity.
Now, once you gather the plane,
you switch on the way and leave your guns on plane. Remember, drug dealers employ smugglers. They do not trust them. Guards find you with weapons. This will not end well.
now, of course, once you get the plane, it will always take you to the same point where you need to fly to, which is past the docks. The docks. So, that's what we're gonna do. Now, once we get onto Cayo Perico, there is only a few locations that I do scope out, or a couple of locations I scope out. Most of the locations I don't even bother going to. And we will get to that once we get to Cayo Perico. Now, one thing I have noticed as well is sometimes, I think generally, the plane will be red when you steal it. I think it's usually red. But sometimes it's kind of funny. When you go into that checkpoint, it will do a cutscene of you landing in Cayo Perico. And sometimes the plane color will actually be different. So like right now it's red, and then sometimes it might be orange when you're landing. Which is kind of funny, but... Now, of course, I was, as you could tell, I was in a suit, or wearing a suit, and as you could hear Paval mentioning, they're going to be changing clothes as a smuggler. Now, once you get onto the island, you actually can switch your outfits if you have any saved outfits already. And it won't really make any difference or not. There's basically one guy on the island there that won't aggro you at all. But once you get past the airport, they're gonna detect you and everything like that. I mean, they're not gonna shoot at you, but they're just gonna kick you out back to the airport. And if you do get kicked out back to the airport so many times, then that's it. You'll have to start it over again. Okay, so we're almost to the point where we get to the island. It's just on the other side of the docks here. And I was gonna say, you won't actually make it to that dot on the map. It usually stops beforehand. So yeah, you can see my plane is now yellow instead of red, which I find kind of interesting. It's nighttime on the island as well.
Paren, esperen ahí. Why can't you assholes be on time for once, eh? Arms out, let's go. Okay, wait over there. They will bring it soon. Go on.
Okay, so now we're on the island. So
As
I'm
soon as
actually
you
going
go beyond the
to...
airstrip, you must be careful. If guards get a good look at you while you are in the restricted area, they will know something is not right. Safest thing is to stay out of sight.
Thanks, Paval. Okay, so now it says sneak to the communications tower, which we will get to here in a moment. I am going to switch back to my business outfit here, suit and tie. Now, first things first, I'm going to turn around and go into this hangar because there are items here, or secondary targets in the hangar here. Now, one secondary target I usually don't photograph is cash. I will photograph weed and cocaine. Since we have 2 weed here. And there's actually 2 separate cages in the hangar here. There's one down below. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do.
Good price. Marking location.
Now, we'll only go through the list thing once. When you send it to Paval. And now, there's actually, let me go back here. So, there is a second, gate you can see up top. So if I take the camera, it's right up in here. There's another gated area up there where there's stuff in there, usually. And during the heist, what you're going to do to get up there is you're going to take this forklift. And there is a pallet of boxes right here. So you're going to go into this pallet of boxes, lift it up, and then you're going to go up into here against this wall, lift it up as far as you can go right up into there, and then climb up onto it and jump over the fence, and then you'll be climbing over the other way. But usually when I do the gather intel, I run around this way by these tires and everything over here, and there's a ladder over here that you can use to get up here and actually gather the intel up here. That way you don't have to do the forklift every single time. And it looks like over here there is weed and cash, so I'm just going to photograph the weed. And then that's going to be it in here for the hangar. So usually what I'll do after I run out of the hangar is I will actually run over towards this road over here and grab a bike. And I'm not going to take off just yet because there's one more location over by the airport here, or the airstrip, that I want to look at first for secondary targets. And that is in this little area to the right here. There is another set of, or caged area. And it looks like this time they have cocaine in here, so I'm going to photograph this. And then photograph the other one.
As expected, I will mark this location.
Now, when you're doing the gather intel here, this is also when you're going to be getting the other information and stuff like that. I forgot what it was called, but the points of interest and stuff like that. But like I said, we're not going to be focusing... Oh, ow. That is one thing you're going to need to watch out for, is trees and stuff. They're everywhere. And they will bite. Well, not really bite. But... Okay, can we grab our bike back, please? And we get on the bike. Bike. Okay, let's push it. Okay, there we go. So generally I go up this way off the path, kind of towards the coast here, and there are abandoned buildings through here. If you look at the mini-map, you'll see which path I'm taking, kind of out this way, because you're going to be avoiding a lot of enemies this way. Or a lot of guards, rather. In fact, we're going to be going through where you start the heist the first time. A little beach party area. You can see it's still set up. There's no one else here, though. There actually is a point of interest or something there. We're going to go here. I usually stay on the bike here. And this is a gate that we're going to have to get through. So at this point, I'm going to be sitting and waiting here for a moment. You can see on the mini-map where you have a guard tower. You have a guard walking towards the gate on the other side of the gate here. A jeep going through, you got a camera there. I'm going to bring up the gate, or to expand the map a little bit, see if there's any vehicles coming in. It looks like there is one more vehicle coming on this road. Now you can see that the guard had turned towards the gate here. Once the guard turns around up in the tower and the guy turns around that's on foot, like now, this is usually when I go through, but there is another jeep coming through. Okay, so I'm gonna cut through this way. You sneak behind the camera, and I'm gonna cut into the woods here before this camera. And that second guard tower guard had already turned around, so we're all good to cut through here. Now I am going to drive down onto this road. And this camera we don't have to worry about because you can see there's nothing on the map, or the mini-map for it. So I'm going to drive up through this field, because there is one more spot for secondary targets right here in this cage. And what is that? Just cash? And you can actually get it from the side here. No, that is weed. So we're gonna do that. Okay.
Adding to planning screen.
And then lastly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to the communication tower, which is right on top of this hill. And one thing I have noticed with this is if there is a guard at the base of the tower here, which you can see on the main map there is.
Signal box may have moved. Check high, check low.
Since there is a guard, that means the signal box will not be at the base of the tower here, which means you will have to climb. If there is no guard on the minimap at this location, then the signal box will be at the base of the tower. So it will either be right here or right by this other door over here, straight ahead. But since, like I said, the guard's here, we're going to be climbing up the tower to find the communication tower. Or the signal box, that's what it is. And it's going to be on one of 3 levels. Actually, I think generally 1 of 2, because I don't think it's generally on this first platform. There are 3 platforms on this tower. So it's not the first one. I think it's generally the second or third, and the third's the topmost platform. And it is the second platform here. So we're going to go into the communication box here, and it will open a hacking minigame. And so as you'll see, there's a target number up top, 3 numbers to the left, and 3 symbols to the right, and then you have results down the bottom. So how this works is the X symbols off to the right are multipliers. So if I do 4 over across, that was a multiplier of 10. So 4 times 10 is 40. This symbol here is 1. There's another symbol that is 2. So there's 1, 2, and 10 multipliers. So in this case, we're going to want to go to 84. So we got 4 times 10, which is 40. 2 times 1, which is 42. And then they add together. And then 4 times 10, which makes 82. And that's all you have to do. And of course, in this case, it's all straight across. But that's how that works.
I have connection. You can use it with the app on your phone.
And then once you complete
What do
that,
we have here?
as Paval says, you'll have to bring up your phone and go to the Sightseer app, which will bring up the cameras.
Check the vault. Basement level.
So usually I will go scroll through the right way, like I'm playing this on computer or PC, so I'm using the right arrow to scroll through, and that will get you towards the basement, and it's always in the same order. So we're gonna go to the basement first. In this case, it is the Panther statue.
There is a panther statue covered in sapphires. Well, if you were wondering what to steal, I would say that this is the answer.
And generally, it's
Getting
gonna
through the
be
case will be a challenge. Use the wrong tool and you destroy what is inside. I will do some research.
generally the items are gonna be either in the case here. You're gonna either have the
Remember,
pink.
you are not a pack mule.
Okay,
There's
Pavel,
only
can
so
we
much
just
you can
stop
carry.
talking
If
for a
you
moment?
want more, bring friends.
So we're either gonna have the pink diamond. We're gonna have tequila. I think there's one other thing that you can get in the case generally. Those are the items that you'll typically find in the case, and then there's one item that will usually be found in the safe, and that is bearer bonds. And depending on whether it's in the case or in the safe, it will change one of the items for the setups, which I'll get into later on in the video. So now I'm going to go into the different storage areas. This table is generally going to be something on it, either cash or gold.
Cash, good to know.
That table
I
is
will
either
work on
cash or
planning
gold.
screen.
And there's either going to be a painting on
I do not know if this
the
painting
left
is
or
good,
right
but
side.
I
In
know
this
it's
case, there's a
expensive.
painting to the right.
I will note location here.
And then we're going to go to the next camera, which is the office camera 1. And if you scroll through, there may be a painting in the office. In this case, there is, which is nice because those other storage areas, you need a second player in order to access those areas. But we'll get to that later on in the video. And the painting could also be on this wall as well, or there may not even be any paintings in the office. But in this case there is, which is nice. Okay, so then we're into West Storage 1. Scrolling across, there's nothing we can see here. You got a table for items and the painting area there. But once again, nothing. West Storage Camera 2, table, which of course has nothing this time. North Storage Camera 1. This would be where a painting would typically be, but once again, no painting.
You have found some gold.
There's
I
gold
will
on
mark
that
its
table.
location here.
North Storage Camera 2. We have cash on that table.
Noting location.
South Storage Camera 1. Gold on that table.
Okay, position logged.
And South Storage Camera 2. Nothing for painting there. And we have cash on that table. And then once you get
That's
through,
on
it
your
just
planning
has
screen
the
now.
dates and stuff like that. Which we're not going to look at. But typically, even if I'm doing this by myself, I'm going to be looking at those storage areas anyways, just in case. I do have a buddy that wants to join me. But once you're done with that, typically what I'll do from now, or from here, is I'm actually going to climb up the tower to the top area, or top platform. Because there is a way to get kicked off the island immediately. Generally, if you go back to the airstrip, you're going to go to the airport. But if you get kicked off the island immediately, you'll spawn at the beach in Los Santos, which is actually preferable if you want to continue the heist setups, because you can call your Kosatka right there, and you're not too far away from that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to face the compound over this direction, jump off, and then immediately pull your chute. Now try and avoid that guard tower. And what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to basically fly over the wall. Now try not to go towards the compound too much, because it will spawn you at the airstrip. What you're going to want to do is actually turn right away from the compound. Now you can see up top there is a helicopter there. or the search helicopter, and you're going to want to kind of go towards that. So I've actually landed before that, and now it says you have been caught by the search helicopter, and that's what you're going to want to do. So once you're caught by the search helicopter, you're kicked off the island immediately, and you'll spawn at the beach in Los Santos. But like I said, you can do this however you want to. This is just how I would prefer doing this. Of course, now we wait because the game needs to load.
To my surprise, Captain, you are still alive. I did warn you.
Call
We
you.
must be careful out there. Come back to the sub when you are ready to try again.
Now, one thing as well is, after a minute or so, Paval will text you for the heist setup continue, or the gather intel continue, which will actually, if you click on that, it will spawn you back on the sub. But what I'm going to do, since I already had the sub out, I'm going to return it so I can have it over here. And once it goes away, I am going to request the Kosatka here in just a second. Yeah, see, there we go. Paval had just messaged me. It looks like a mission or job list thing. So what you can do now is you can click on the Paval Continue Prepwork. If you do that, it will bring you right into the submarine. Now, one thing I will warn is if you send the submarine away and do that, you will still get onto the submarine, but you will not be able to leave the submarine or do anything else. You won't be able to do any more heist setups. You will have to exit the game and come back in order to continue, because it will bug out. But you will still be able to walk around and everything in here. It's just you won't be able to drive, you can't fast travel, you can't exit the submarine. Actually, I think you can exit the submarine. But anyways, yeah. So we're going to continue. And you can see now that the Panther statue is worth 2.09 million. And then the secondary targets is 2.354 million. Now we're all set with the intel, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next tab to prep, and we're going to do the approach vehicles. Now you can do this in any order, but this is the order I typically do it in. So we're going to do approach vehicles, and then you have a selection of 6 different approach vehicles. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be doing the Kosatka, and I will explain why later on. So now it will say go to the Merryweather test site, and what I'm going to do here is I am actually going to sit down and fast travel, because this is always up north. It's going to be in one of 3 or 4 different locations up north. So I'm going to go up through the list until I get to one of the closer locations, which here is going to either be Paleto Forest or North Chumash. And I believe North Chumash is slightly closer. Now I know this video may take a while. I know we're already at 28 minutes, 29 minutes in the video. But this is a walkthrough, so it's going to take a little bit. And if you're still with me here, then I want to thank you for sticking with me so far. Now these setups will go by a little bit quicker than the gather intel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drive the submarine now. And Paval will be now start talking.
If you wish to use submarine to get to Mr. Rubio's island undetected, we will need to deflect their sonar. But such equipment is not available on open market. We will need to borrow it. And I have a lender all lined up. Merryweather are running tests on their new submarine, latest model. It will have what we need. I would ping you exact coordinates, but they are blocking my sonar. I know the general area for the test. We start there.
Now you can see on the right side of the screen there is a helicopter flying around there, and that's over in the area where the dot is on the mini-map. If we expand that a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to dive. I'm going to go into the first-person camera while driving the submarine. And we're going to dive because, of course, we want to get onto their submarine, which is underneath the water. And there will be 3 patrol boats above the submarine as well. And once we get closer, Paval will mention that. Now I'm kind of going out around because there are islands here, so I kind of want to avoid those. Now, typically the submarine will be around 60 feet underwater. So I'm going to kind of start churning in towards the dot here, and then you will see it churn into like a large area instead of a single point.
You see the boat in the helicopter? That must be the spot. Time to get more than your feet wet, Capitan. Dive time.
So we've already dived, or dove, and you can see the submarine right here, and there is a yellow entry point for the submarine. So we're gonna get right up next to it. And then once we stop, the game will tell us in the top left corner, or generally it will, I think it might have already told us, that you can press and hold, for the PC, press and hold E to engage autopilot. And you can see now it says autopilot engaged. That will mean that the Kosatka, or our submarine, will stay right where it's at. It won't return to the surface. So now we can leave the helm of the submarine, stand up, and generally on this mission I do stay in first person. So I am going to go up through the front of my submarine here, go up to this ladder, and then just swim over to this entry point here. And also I should note that I am doing these heist preps and invite only. You can do friends only or whatever, but this way I don't have to be bothered by anyone else. And once you do collect these items in the public session, people will be able to go after you for them. So I would suggest doing either invite only, solo, or friends only. So once again, I'm going to go back to my heavy pistol, and like I said, I am going to stay in first person this time. Now this first room, once you get outside of the ladder here, there's 2 doorways you can go. You can either go right or left. I generally go left first. And in this first room, there are 2 guys that we will need to get rid of. And you can see one in the distance there, and one right here. So take out this guy, and then take out that guy, and this room is now empty. And what I will generally do once I get through here is you can see another guy down a floor below, well, technically 2 floors below, I guess. And I'm gonna do a headshot on him. Through the grates, you can see he's been knocked down. Now once we get through here, there is gonna be one guy, typically in this room. So I'm gonna kind of, there he is, take him out. And then there's 2 guys in the control room up here. There's one. Put him in the ear, I think. And then there's the second guy. And sometimes the sonar jammer will be hiding his head right there. Because this is one of the locations it can spawn in. As you can tell, it's not in this room. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of hide behind this. Eat a couple snacks to regen my health. Oops, so I guess I'm not exactly hiding. Oops, well, whatever. Okay. Our health is now full. I'm not going to rebuild the armor. So then you're going to be going downstairs. There is a door to the left and then a hallway to the right. What I generally do here is I go down the stairs, turn around, and then go left to this hallway here. There's a guy right there. There was a guy through this door. Ow. so long for that. Now we are on the surface. So I am going to be diving here to get back to the submarine. Now we do have a rebreather on, but I don't know exactly how much it's going to help. Now, one thing that you can do before you get into the submarine here the first time is, if you want, you can take out those boats in the helicopter. So if you do die, you're not going to be shot at constantly. So we made it to the submarine. Let's try this again. So I'm going to run back through here. All these guys are going to be already taken out. So we don't have to worry about them. Okay, so we know there's a guy to our left right here, so kind of just... Oh, well, I took out the chef. Not what I meant to do, but... I mean, that's nice because the chef does have a knife and he will run after you. Okay, where is this guy? He's right there. Okay, I kind of missed him, but... No, that's fine. I'm gonna go right here. Eat a couple snacks. Maybe I should get into out of first person here. Press Q. There you go. Okay. That way you don't have the animation. I'm gonna go back into first person. No, don't point. Actually, I pressed the wrong button. So I'm gonna go back into first person now. I mean, I don't need to go in first person now, I suppose. There will be a guy right at the top of the stairs through here, through the cafeteria. He's been taken out. And then there will be a guy at the bottom of the stairs, generally. There he is. Sometimes he may start running up the stairs, other times he'll be right here at the bottom of the stairs. So this time he was just around the corner. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go right. There's a guy right here, which I kind of forgot about. And then there's going to be one more guy in the torpedo room, which we're going to take out. And right on this case here will be the sonar jammer sometimes, or one of the locations. But it's not there this time. So it's in the final location, which means we got to work our way back through this direction. This guy we already took out from above. This room, there's nobody in. This next room, there generally is somebody in. I don't see him, though. But generally, his head will be above this thing right here. And you can get a headshot on him right there, but I don't see him. Oh, there he is. There's a guy up there. Take him out. And the sonar jammer is right here. And we are actually almost to our exit as well, so let me get the gun back out, because once I get the gun will be put away. And there's one more room up here, and there is generally a guy in there. So I'm going to kind of go up the stairs backwards, just to kind of make sure. Oh, there he is. Ow. Well, this isn't going as well as it normally does, but you know what, that's fine. I'm gonna dive. We know where it's at. And I do apologize for the long video. And the simple explanation, I suppose. Like I said earlier, I'm doing this to kind of help a friend out, and this is a walkthrough, I suppose, so... So now, in this case, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually be going right, and the guy is going to be right down here, and we're going to be shot immediately, I'm sure. Oh, there he goes. Kind of went into cover. Oh. Usually I don't have this many problems. Of course, now that I'm recording the video, right, that's going to have all these issues. Now what I could do, or what I might do this time, is I might run through the entire length of the ship. Because that guy's in that one area. And as soon as we get down the ladder, we're not getting shot at. Almost out of breath, but we made it. Okay, I'm gonna go right here, press Q. Nope. See, it's acting like I am hiding, but then again, I'm not. So I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, we're gonna run back through this area. That is not the gun I want. Now, once again, everyone else is already taken care of, so we don't have to worry about that. So run through here. Oh, no, run down the stairs. Go through this set of stairs. Go, turn around. Okay, this guy should be like right up here. There he is. I don't think I can shoot him from this range. No, I can't, so I have to go up there a little bit. There we go. We finally took him out. And that was the last guy, actually, so... Okay, so we collected the sonar jammer again. We don't only have to run over it this time. It's telling us that there's rebreathers that we can put right there, but we're not going to need it. Because our submarine is literally right here. And you can see the global signal counters counting down. That's if you're on a public server, but even then, if you do it this way, you're not going to have to worry about anything because your submarine's literally right there. So that out of the way, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fast travel back to Vespucci Beach. It will take a moment here to... Okay. There we go. I thought I clicked it the first time, but apparently not. Or it didn't work. Now, one thing I am going to try and do for this video is I'm going to see if I can figure out the chapters for YouTube. So I can set the chapters for each setup. Okay, stand up. Okay, I'm going to get out of first person now. Take off this rebreather because every time you drive the submarine or any boat, it will do that. Which I don't know why, but it is what it is. Okay, so that is the only vehicle prep that we're going to be doing. So now we're going to focus on equipment. We are not going to get the demolition charges. And now this equipment here, it will differ depending on whether you have the bearer bonds in the safe or something in the case. And if it's the case, you're going to be getting the plasma cutter. If it's the bearer bonds, you're going to be getting safe codes. The safe codes will take you to the casino, and you'll have to go into a penthouse there. But in this case, it's the plasma cutter we're going to have to get. So now it's going to be a safe house that we're going to be going to. So this is where I'm going to start using my Sparrow quite a bit. And it always goes in the first person when you get the Sparrow. I don't know why. I'm sure you guys know this already if you've played this a while. So the safe house will once again be one of 3 locations.
The display case in Mr. Rubio's vault will be a challenge. We need specialized plasma cutter to get through, but specialized means too easy to trace. And when you annoy a man such as Mr. Rubio, you do not wish to be traced. So we steal it. Mini Madrazo has given us information on a gang planning a very delicate robbery. They have stashed plasma cutter, and we have location on their safe house. Come, today we thieve from thieves.
Okay, so we're almost to the safe house, and it seems like this one is the one I get quite often. Which is right behind this hospital here by the highway. And now this safe house, you don't have to
Captain,
worry
I look
about.
back at my career and ask myself why. The robberies conducted, the assassinations carried out, the insurrection supported or crushed, the late nights, the early mornings, the fatigue, the diet of red caviar and navy wine, the endless vitamin D supplements. But of
Almost
course,
done,
you
Pavel.
ask yourself the same question, yes? And you give the same answer. Money!
Okay, now as I was gonna say, this safe house, you don't have to worry about any enemies in here because they are already gone. So you don't have to worry about getting the gun out and shooting anyone.
Okay, you are
Now
in
you will
location,
be
but
looking
not in
for
gunfight. Nobody home?
this
Perhaps they have
board.
started the job
It will
sooner
either
than
be here
anticipated. Look around. There must be some plan,
or
some
it will
document
be
that will give clue to where
over
they are.
here.
Something I can cross-reference.
Now what
All
you're
I
going to want
need
to do
a
is you don't
photograph.
want to get too close to it or else it won't work. Usually about here is good. Get your phone out, take the camera, and then take a picture of that, and then it will have the sense of all thing at the bottom. Do that, and then you can leave out of here. Get back in your vehicle, whichever vehicle
That
you
should
choose
work.
to get here.
Okay, give me a second. Aha, there you are. I will send you new location now.
Okay, so now we need to go to Rockford Hills. And this, there will be enemies you will need to take out. And of course, there was enemies that will continue to go after you as well in vehicles. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to this area. Kind of hovering around there for now. It's usually going to be in like one of three alleyways over here. One of two or three. So I can kind of hover here. Actually, let me go more over this way. And you will get some lock-ons, so what I will usually do is I will just keep shooting everyone that's in the alleyway. Cut that light. We've got two cars over here. They're shooting at us. Really? What is it? Anything else in the alley? No? Okay. So you will need to go in through this, at least trigger this checkpoint. Even if you had already gathered the stuff, you still need to do that. Well, rip me. There's going to be two new cars going after me now. So that is nice. What does that do? No? Oh, they are. Whatever. Oh, I see one on the mini map now. So grab that.
They were there, yes? Good. Just get the cutter back to me and have the eyes in the back of your head, yes?
I'm gonna take your car.
What is going
Generally, I
on?
take my helicopter, but
On.
I have to usually wait a minute or so to call it. You know, in the Kosatka menu, you can see 1 minute, 11 seconds.
That's insane.
I am not gonna follow the GPS. I don't care if you guys are shooting it or not. Because it's not gonna matter anyways. Not sure about it. Get away. Okay, so let's see. Can I call it yet? No. Okay, that's fine. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm actually gonna call a beanie. Switch the car in the water. Wasn't mine anyway, so. Don't know why my character equipped a knife. But it doesn't matter. And now over to the Kosatka. Now one thing that is nice about the Sparrow is if it does explode on you or whatever, you do crash it, you don't have to call Moore's Mutual every time. It will automatically go back to your Kosatka. It's just you will have a timer that you'll have to wait for to call it again. And it's the same if you call it away or return it to the Kosatka here. Now that prep is done. These preps are usually pretty quick. I am going to take the stupid rebreather off again.
Is that you, Capitan? How much do you think it weighs? I hope you are feeling fit.
Okay, now we're going to do the Fingerprint cloner next, which will tell us to go to a warehouse.
Goodbye.
So once again, go back to my my Sparrow here. And the warehouse is once again going to be in like one of 3 locations.
Very latest design. Normal hacking tools will be detected immediately and the whole place will be sealed. Our only chance is to acquire Mr. Rubio's fail-safe device, which can reconstruct his fingerprint in case of emergency. This and only this will allow us to hack the system. And to get it, we will need to find the mainland archives of his head of cybersecurity. Start by going to the GPS coordinates I have sent you.
Okay, so this one's behind this. Is this a chicken's restaurant, fast food restaurant, or what? But it's right behind here, anyways.
The
So this
archives are
one.
relocated every few weeks. If we want to find out where they are, we need to get into the computer system in this warehouse. It will be highly secure. Perhaps you can avoid cameras or destroy them, or make it easy and kill the power. There has to be a circuit box not too far from here. It will be guarded in there. You avoid the cameras, you keep element of surprise, yes?
Okay, so as Pavel was saying, there are 2 cameras here you can see in the minimap. Generally, there will be there always is a switch box on the buildings of the warehouse. And it will look like this. So you're going to want to go up to it, click whatever button it is for your console that you're on to activate it. I mean, you can shoot them as well, but I find this to be a whole lot easier. So the cameras are disabled. I usually get my gun out before I go in. And once I go in, I go to this box here and press Q behind
Have you ever
it.
searched the internet for Mr. Rubio? If you do, you will find that websites being critical of him have their
There are
servers
4 guys in here as
mysteriously
well.
targeted
So.
for attack. Cybersecurity is not all about defense, yes?
If you die here, it's no big deal because it'll spawn you like literally right outside. Ooh, I got him before he went back. So those are the 4 guys taken care of. It will usually start you in a
Find
crouch.
the
I don't know
computer.
why, but
We must get inside and get the location of the archives.
if you go to laptop, it will do a hacking
Need of updates.
game, which I
This would
failed.
never happen at Russian government troll farm.
I think I was just trying to be a little bit too quick on it. So you do that, and it always says
We
the
have
same thing as
location
well,
of the
every
archive.
single time.
Now let's go.
Now the archive is once again going to be in one of 3 locations. I'm sure you're starting to see a theme now.
I'm calling Weasel News.
It's either going to be over by a bridge, over by the casino here, which is the one we're heading towards. It's going to be under a bridge by the strip club, or it's going to be over by the pier. Now there will be cameras at this location as well, but there is no box to turn off the cameras at this one,
You are
at
approaching
the
it now.
archive.
Watch out. This place will also have CCTV.
So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a high-powered weapon like a sniper. And generally what I will do is there's one camera that is facing the other and then the other one that's not really facing. So it looks like this left one, as you can see on the mini-map a little bit, kind of hard to tell. This one is facing that one. So I'm going to take this one out first. I'm going to take this one out. Then once you've taken them out, you can go right in. There's no one in here, so you don't have to worry about any fight. You would have to, not in here, but if you didn't take the cameras out and go in, once you get out there will be guys chasing after you.
Probably it will have an antenna.
But if you take out the cameras like that, you don't have to worry. So take out, it's going to be either on this,
Get it out of there.
this desk, this desk, or this desk. So it's always going to be in this corner on one of those three desks. So these desks you don't have to worry about looking at. As you can see, I already collected it like right away. So we leave. Get back in your preferred mode of transportation. And if you had gotten caught by the cameras, now the cars or helicopters will be going after you. But since we took it out, there's no one chasing us, so it's a free ride back to the submarine. And as you can see now, we would be visible to all players in the session, not as if you're like in a public session, but once again we're invite only, so we don't have to worry about that. Now one thing that is nice about the pier location is since I usually have the submarine parked over this way, it's not too far from the pier to the sub.
In our line of work, it pays to look ahead, Captain, to think of how we cover our tracks.
And one thing that's nice about the spare is you can just come near it and press E to enter it, or whichever button it is on your system controller or whatever. And that setup is done. Now we only have 2 more setups to go before we can actually do the heist. We're almost at an hour now, so this may be about an hour and a half, hour, 45-minute video. So this will be the last equipment prep or setup we'll have to do. And this is the cutting torch. Now it's going to tell you to go to a construction site, which is going to be, once again, one of 3 locations. It's either going to be a housing construction site in Rockford Hills, or one of 2 tower constructions sites downtown. And it's looking like it might be
No loose ends. Mr. Rubio takes hold of loose
the
ends.
tall tower, actually.
Okay.
So you have that tall tower that it may spawn at.
Underwater, we will need correct type of cutting torch. These we should be able to find easily at construction site. Although less easy will be the armed guards. Apparently, industrial.
Sometimes it might be this construction site right here. Like I said, it's this one this time. And generally, if you come over here by car, you will have to go up through the elevators. But one thing that's nice about the helicopter and flying vehicles is you go right up to the top here.
The torch will not just be lying around. You will need to search toolboxes and so on.
Now, generally what you will want to do with this setup, as I've all mentioned about the hard hat, there is a hard hat up here that you can collect or get put on. I'll tell you as you get like right up to it. Okay, now I'm equipping the hard hat. You can wear a ridiculous outfit, and even with a hard hat on, they won't bat an eye, which is the strangest thing, but whatever. Now you run down these ramps. I mean, you could do it without the hard hat, just trying to avoid everyone. But one thing I have noticed, not so much on this location, but one thing I have noticed with some of the other locations is sometimes the hard hat may disappear. I don't know if it's because you're in their cone of vision too long. But sometimes it will disappear, and if that happens, they will start shooting you immediately, which is, of course, no good. So I'm going to run over here. It's going to be one of many toolboxes that you'll have to search. And I have a feeling this time it's going to be one of the last ones. That one. There's one over there. Is there one over like here? No. Just that one. Is that the last one? Okay. Can't really climb over this. It is that last one. I can't climb over that. Okay. Grab that.
Do you have it? Bring it back for safekeeping.
Okay, go back up to your, once again, or back to your preferred mode of transportation. Now you could either parachute off if you drove here, or if like you had a helicopter or whatever up top, just get back into here. Or you could take the elevator, I suppose, back down, which would be the fun way, I suppose, of doing it. Parachuting is always fun too. And once you get back to the Kosatka, this prep is done. And then we'll have one more, which will be two different combinations, or two different types of thing that you have to do for the next setup.
So hard to get new weapons, vehicles, equipment, and then afterwards we destroy it all. The only way to be safe, not sorry, yes?
Which I'll get to here in just a moment, after I select it. I didn't know exactly how to mention that, so. Okay, so that's it for the equipment. Last thing we're gonna need is the weapons. And disruption I do not worry about. So always buy the suppressors. And then I have one of three I could get. Usually I go with Conspirator, because it has a pistol. So now it's telling me to go to the Schlongberg Sock Center. I know it's pronounced something different, but I'm not going to pronounce it that way. And so it'll either tell you to go to the Merryweather HQ or to one of three different towers. If you go to the Merryweather HQ, then you'll have to follow a helicopter to one of three locations. Although you don't technically have to follow it, you just have to go trigger it. But in this case, we're just going to one of the towers.
Mr. Rubio will finish it. When it comes to our weapons supply, we must leave no paper trail. And you know the easiest way to have no paper trail? Stealing. I have identified a group bringing in a shipment of unregistered weapons. Should be perfect for us. They are typical Americans, operating out of skyscraper offices. Coordinates should be with you now.
Now these towers will have both the ground entrance and the roof entrance. And of course, once again, the roof entrance is usually the better way to go because there's guys at the ground entrance. Now this tower is a pretty tough tower to land on with the Sparrow, but maybe I'll land like right here. Oops, and of course it's... And there we go. That way I can get back into it. Drop down. Now, typically how I do this is I get my weapon, or suppressed weapon out first.
Okay, this shipment will be kept separate
And
from
these
the
guys will
regular
always be
weapons.
in the same
Look
position.
for gun locker somewhere. It may be hidden.
So I am going to shoot the door open, and then shoot that guy. They still have no idea. Shoot that guy. It's going to be a guy over here. Shoot him. Go over this direction. Take out this guy. Take out those two guys. There's gonna be a guy there. Take out these three guys. And there's one more guy that we're gonna want to take out, and he is in this room. There, and the alarm was not even raised. That's all the guys taken care of in here.
If you cannot open it, try looking for their computer. Probably unlocks remotely.
And then you're gonna have to do another hacking mini game, which is the one with the numbers, or the IP address or whatever I think it is. 6512. Okay, right here.
Was that it? Did it open the locker?
Okay, now you can collect the guns.
In my experience, the kind of
Other
people who have
weapons.
cache of unmarked weapons will try very hard to kill you when you steal them. Move fast and watch out. You know, Capitan, in my youth,
Now
would use
here
a
I
personal
sometimes
weapon on
press the wrong
operations
button.
such as this.
I'm so
Let me
tempted to
tell
press
you,
E to
my late
exit, but
20s
it's
were a
Q to get
turbulent
to the roof. On PC, that is.
I learned my lesson. Nothing personal. Nothing with receipts. Nothing with history. Everything new.
So now there will be a couple helicopters going after you, even if you don't raise the alarm. Oh, that was dumb. Why did I do that?
Big Mama.
Big dumb. Big dumb. I honestly don't know why I did that. I thought I had a lock on, so I thought it was going to clear the edge, but... Actually, no, I don't even need to do that. I need to go back up and collect that. Which means I am going to have to wait minute 18 to get the helicopter again. What I'm going to do is I am going to get the homing launcher, take out these helicopters. Now I don't know if this is one of those ones where there's unlimited waves of these guys, or not. Now once you exit, you're not able to get back inside, so I will have to have a helicopter get to back up top. So that was the first wave of two. I don't know... Why do I have a lock on for this vehicle? Until the 6 seconds. No, that's fine. Sparrow. Put this away. Helicopter's really not shooting at me right now anyway, so... Let's try not to make Big Dumb again. There we go. Now hopefully it's like right on the edge here. Let me take care of these guys really quick. The helicopter is not happy. Now this would be the third wave, and I'm hoping that is the final wave for them. No. I know certain missions, it's either 3 to 5 waves. You know what, I'm gonna ditch the helicopter. Well, that's frustrating.
Heist! My Lord and Savior.
Really? Of course, I didn't have a full lock on yet either. This would be the 4th wave of the helicopters. Okay, is there going to be any more helicopters now, or is that it? Minute 12. I don't see any more helicopters incoming on the mini-map. So... it looks like that was it. Now I'm pretty sure I can't go back in. But I'm gonna take out these guys. Just in the off chance that you are able to get back in.
You piece of shit!
I don't believe so.
Help! Get out of there! Shot! Help! It's on now!
Oh, I already took out that guy.
You fucking idiot! Oh shit! Find cover, guys, please!
Did I get him?
There! Oh, I will. Oh!
Oops.
Fuck off!
Well, I got him in like the shoulder.
You piece of shit!
You know what? Whatever. I think my helicopter can now call. Well. There it is. Okay, now we don't have the helicopters to deal with. Or now that we don't have them to deal with. It should be so much easier. Once again, usually you don't have this many issues, but of course I was a big dumb to start. So that didn't help. So that guy, we can lock onto him, but there's no reason to lock onto him. So yeah, so you can get inside from here, so maybe you could get inside from the bottom. Don't need my gun out anymore. So to pretend none of that happened and we're just ready to take off for the first time. I think if my helicopter was angled up like that, that wouldn't have happened the first time, but whatever. So anyways, this is the final prep that we need to do. And after that, we are all set for Heist. Okay, enter the submarine for the last time. Well, I mean, as far as the prep and everything goes. Now, once we get to that screen, it will tell us that Heist is ready to start. And of course, you can go back and get more stuff if you need to, but... Mandatory preps completed. That's it. So now you have the finale page all set up. You can't do anything with those right now. What you need to do is go over to the bottom here, underneath where it says hard mode active, and then you press start. So you'll do that, and it'll bring up you into like this sort of menu. So I usually do purchase the heavy armor. And then, of course, the matchmaking and everything, but we're doing it by ourselves. So play. Yes, I want to do it on my own. Now it'll bring you to this screen again, where now you can select everything. So of course the approach vehicle is going to be the Kosatka, because that's what the only one we got. Infiltration point. Now this is why I chose the Kosatka, because one of the infiltration points you can do is the drainage tunnel. I think you can do it even without the Kosatka, but the Kosatka gets you the closest. So we're going to do the drainage tunnel, which will actually bring you directly into the compound to start. So you're not having to work your way to the compound, get the stuff, and then work your way back out of the compound. So we're going to start with the drainage tunnel, and then compound entry point is of course going to be the drainage tunnel. Escape point, I'm going to select as the Kosatka, but this isn't going to matter, and I will get to why later on. Time of day doesn't really make a difference. Daytime is kind of easier to see, so that's what I usually do. And then I just go, if you have someone else with you, you can do the crew, assign crew cuts, but generally that's it. And I'm ready to press continue, and I'll bring it to this. And the only option you have left is continue. And now you will be starting your heist. So as you can see, we're coming in with our submarine. We have the signal jammers, so they don't know we're coming. Now usually I will get into first person here because it's easier to swim in first person I'm flying.
I will be able to see you on CCTV.
Now these mines, you can run into them all you want and everything. You can punch them, everything. They won't do a thing. So I do want to just mention that the mines you can run into without any consequences. So now, of course, you're going to want to get to this yellow point here. One thing I do find kind of interesting here is you can see all kinds of vehicles and stuff here. And in fact, some, like in this area, you can see like bodies, and one in the trunk of that car.
Okay, next stop, maintenance.
So now it will mention, or once you get closer to here, it will say press E to cut through the grill, or whichever button. So now you're going to be doing this sort of thing where you have your plasma cutter. And now you're going to want to cut the ones that are green, and once you hover over them until they're not green anymore. And usually I just go around clockwise like this. If you go slow enough while you're moving it, you can continue moving it while it's actually being cut. So you don't necessarily have to stop it on there. Just move it really slow.
Excellent. Did I ever tell you about the sewers in my hometown? It was
Now
there
we
I
get up
first
into
decided
here.
to join the Navy. Perhaps it was at the same effect.
Now it's going to say you can choose this infiltration point. You can go other areas if you want before entering or whatever. But we're going to stick with this one. Because like I said, this will bring us directly into the compound. Okay, so now how I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to be quite quick. So I'm going to run this way, jump over here.
Judging from the lack of terrified screams, I will assume you made it through the uncharted
Because this way
tunnel
I can
into
go
the den of
undetected
strung-out
quite a
militiamen.
ways towards the center of the compound here.
Things are going according to
Now, of
plan.
course, you want to avoid the cones of
Let's see
vision.
what he has for us in the vault this
I'm going to
time.
get back out of first person. Wait for that guy up
You're
here
in
to
the
turn
area where
around.
Mr. Rubio's personal bodyguards operate.
Walk this
These men
direction.
will know every soldier under
And there's
their
only
command.
3 guys
No
I take out in
disguise
here.
will
We
fool
got
them.
this guy here. It's going to be a
¿Felipe
guy
le dio
right
las
over here.
llaves? No,
Now this cone of
Me las
vision up
tenía
here
que
you don't
dar.
have to worry about because he's
lo
up
vi hace
there.
poco.
Sí,
Pick up that
seguro se lo
guy.
olvidó a ese pendejo.
And then start running up the stairs, and that will be the guy that, like I said, is upstairs. You can see him moving now. Kind of wait here because he'll come up into this area here, and then stop. So once he's stopped, you can aim, get a nice headshot on him. He actually has the gate key, which generally one of those 3 guys will have the gate key. So we're going to go into here. So there's the elevator down, there's the painting. And one thing I'm going to do here first, I'm going to go up to these pictures. And this is a wall safe, and there's going to be cash in here that you can collect. So I'm going to go in here, collect the cash, and there is a pistol in there as well. Then I'm going to go over to this painting, cut the painting, and then it will tell you the directions on how to cut it. So like press D right now, and then S, and then A to go left, and then S to go down again. That's the painting, and then you can see how much the take will jump up with that. So we're at 250,000 already, and that's not even including the Panther statue. So now there will be a fingerprint cloner minigame that you'll have to do in here.
Good choice.
And you'll have to copy the one on the right. And generally when you're doing this, it will go through, basically scroll through from top to bottom as you're scrolling through here. So like 1, 2, 3, that's the 4th one, and that completed it. So sometimes I'll count through like that. So like that's 1, that's 2, and that one's the 3rd one. This one's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then keep doing that. You do that 4 times on hard and 3 times on the non-hard difficulty. Okay. There we go. And then 1 more. And one thing about this method that I do with this heist as well is you can generally get the bonus for completing the heist without dying or anything like that, or under a certain time. Now once again, these other areas here, I'll show you. These storage areas will have 2 keypads, and you're going to need to find both keypads, or key cards. One's going to be in the office, and the guard's going to be holding one of them. And you're going to need a second player to do those, to get in those areas. But of course, since I'm doing that by myself, like this by myself, I can't access the other painting. So now we go into here. We're going to have to cut the glass.
Okay, time to focus, yes?
Now you gotta make sure you don't bring the heat up too much.
The only way in is the plasma cutter.
You don't feel like burn yourself and everything like that, but
Well, just ask my
pull
uncle.
yourself down.
The problem with plasma cutters, you are not careful, they overheat. I learned this the
And
hard
then once
way.
we collect
Cutting
this,
into
you'll
another
see
zip
really
line.
how much
At
we
least you are
take
above the
from stuff.
waterline, yes?
Okay, there we go. And then we just run back up from the
Statue of
elevator.
Adventure made from gemstones. I predict now, when you come to sell this, my mother-in-law will be first in the line.
And there's actually no one else I'm going to be taking out now in the compound
From
here.
what I can tell, they have sealed the drainage pipe.
So run back
You'll
down.
need another way out.
I'm going to jump over this wall, or railing rather.
Heads up, fresh guards
And there
inbound.
is a guard that will pace in this area up here, so I usually, if I see him walking towards this direction, I'll just kind of slow down. There's another guard over behind that tree yacht, but
Shopping before takeoff.
you won't have to worry about him. I mean, you could take these guys out, but there's no need. This guy will turn around, so now you can climb over here. And then we can go out through the main gate right here without being spotted. So I'll ask if you want to choose this escape point, and of course I do. And now your character is going to act like an idiot, doesn't know how to get out. And there's a button. Okay, now there's 3 guys up here I will be taking out. There's going to be one guy behind this tree.
Well done. The compound is done.
Take a
The
headshot
only
on
thing
him.
left to do is escape. Carry on like this.
There will
and
be
they
3
will
guys
never
over
know
there
you were
too, facing each other, and then this guy on his own.
So, the sub is not where you left it.
You can
Your
either go up
coordinates should
through
be on
by
your
these trees to
GPS
get
now.
closer and take him out, or if you're good enough from a distance there, you can shoot him like I did. And then to take these other 2 that are facing each other out, the best way I usually find is to kind of go over in these trees over here, and then in this spot right here, generally the heads will be lined up
Woken up into his nightmare.
so you can
All over again.
get them like that. And then they're not alerted. And now I think, if I remember correctly, all the good stuff we had was over by the airport. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive down this road a little bit until we get up to the corner of this guy's cone of
Judging
vision,
from their comms,
and
it
then
sounds
drive
like Mr.
over
Rubio's
into
reaching
the
for
grass
his
here,
helicopter. Again.
kind of up onto this loop. Now, one thing too, when you're escaping the island, you can actually jump into the water in any area and just swim out away from the island. You don't have to get to the Kosatka or any of the other locations. You can just get in the water, swim out, and once you swim far enough out, it will trigger the end of the heist, and you will get to the end screen there. So I'm gonna go up to this way, wait for this guard, and the guard said, actually, you know what, I could go up to the base of the tower here. The camera is facing left, and now the guard had turned. So I can kind of go back down to the road here now. Kind of hug the hills over here by the ledge. And there will be a guard tower up there. But if you're quick enough, once you jump up here, kind of get close to the water, and I always do that here. Get in the water. Get the bike. Get the bike. Okay. That guard turned just in time for me to get out of its cone of vision. And then you're going to want to cut across this road, kind of to the area where we came across when we were doing the gather intel. Because there's no guards in this area at all.
Capitan, I do not want to worry, but there is something out there. Long-range scanners are
Now once again, be careful of the
on the surface.
shrubs and trees and stuff like
I would
that.
say it is. Never mind.
As you can tell, it will knock you off your bike. And there is one more guy I'm going to be taking out. I'm going to kind of cut across this way. Kind of in through here. Get onto the airstrip.
The control tower is just ahead.
Actually, no, that was just weed in there, wasn't it? Okay, watch out for this guy walking. In fact, I'm gonna take him out. Okay, so I took him out. These guys are all running, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes there will be a camera over here that you'll have to avoid, but in this instance there isn't. There's a guy sitting here. Take him out. And then we have the cocaine over here, which I will grab. In fact, I will only be able to grab one of them. You can see the helicopter coming overhead, but since we're undercover, he won't be able to spot us. So we collect this. Okay, helicopter, I'd turn around and go back through here. Our loot bag is full, so we can't carry anything else.
As my uncle would say, you
I'm gonna
kill
take
the
this
moose,
bike.
you carry it home. You understand? Yes. The heavier the things you take, and the slower
And
you
I'm
will be.
gonna kind of go over to the water over here, avoiding that cone of vision. And I'm just gonna drive into the water. And since we're over near the airstrip here, I'm actually going to swim towards the Kosatka. But as I mentioned earlier already, it doesn't matter. You don't have to swim towards the Kosatka. You can just swim out away from the island. But basically, once you're away from the island, like I said, you're all set. So in this instance, we should, I think, be slightly under 15 minutes. I don't know. We'll find out, though. If not, that's fine too. If you do get the bonus without dying or having to quick restart, without any hacking fails, or if it's also under 15 minutes, you'll get an extra $100,000 bonus. So, yeah. Once we get to the Kosatka here, it will take a minute or so, or a few seconds to trigger, so usually you can get pretty close to the propellers, but not quite to the propellers before it triggers. It's like the bat tail rudders, basically, when you get to where it will trigger. So just about here, you can see all the GUI had gone away. And it goes to black, and then you go to the final screen here, cutscene. An hour 34 minutes, so I was kind of in between my estimate of an hour 30 to an hour 45. So yeah, that's it. So heist passed. It'll show your potential take. Of course, you're not going to get all that. So the actual take was 2.25 million, and we had the 100% take, and we did actually just complete it under 15 minutes. Full loot bag, no errors or whatever. So we get an extra 100,000. Total cash earned. Get the job points and everything. ERP. And then it will take you to another cutscene. And if you're with someone else, that guy's not going to be there. It's just going to be you and your partners. And then you have the final screen here, so which I'm going to take a screenshot. So yeah, that's it. That is the Cayo Perico Heist. And now I will have to wait a few more minutes before I can go back to the submarine to start the next one up, but for the hard difficulty. But yeah, anyways, So, sorry it took so long, and sorry I was so rubbish in some of the parts, but... well, actually I got 150,000 bonus, so, yeah. Nice. Now I'm going to deposit my cash that I just earned, and watch your money go up just like that. And then I can do it all over again. So yeah, I'm at... So that's not too bad. 2.25 million on this heist. With the artwork in the office and then one thing of cocaine. So yeah. Anyways, hopefully I didn't bore you all to tears, and hopefully you did find this a little bit helpful. If it was hard to follow at times, I do apologize. I don't know, just, yeah. Anyway, so once again, hopefully you've all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And of course, as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!